Good afternoon. Welcome to this special meeting of the LA City Board of Public Works for Friday, October 23rd, 2020. This is obviously day of Game 3 of the 2020 World Series. If anyone says anything negative about the Dodgers, Dr. Campos has been instructed to mute you in perpetuity. So check yourselves before you wreck yourselves. Good job.
I think you banned them from our meeting.
That's exactly right. And good job, Paul Roch, with your not unnoticed screen thing. We will be the pandemic city of champions. All right. With that, Dr. Campos, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, President Good, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, establishing quorum and roll call for today. We have President Good, we have Vice President Garcia, President Pro Tem Davis, and also Commissioner Caloza. For the record, Commissioner Davis, Caloza, and Good are here dialing in remotely from their City Hall offices, and Commissioner Garcia is dialing in remotely from home. I am also dialing in remotely from my City Hall office here today. We are also joined today by our General Counsel, Mr. Ted Jordan, who is dialing in remotely from home. President Good, you do have a quorum at this time. We also have one caller on the line under general public comment. We do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. And we also have two members from the general public from SoCal Gas on item number 7. If you have any questions, no commentary, but only if the board has any questions on item number 7.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. Why don't we go ahead and hear the comment from general public comment, the caller for general public comment.
Yeah, absolutely. Ms. Brenda Contreras, if you can please press *6 on your landline device, you'd be given 2 minutes to speak under general public comment.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, thanks for joining us. Hi, Ms. Contreras.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I'm a homeowner in CD14. I live on the border of Los Angeles and South Pasadena, on the Los Angeles side, of course. And currently, I'm appealing a decision made by South Pasadena to construct a private street that connects to Lowell Avenue, which is just north of Atlas Street in Los Angeles. And the street would in no way serve or connect to South Pasadena. It just goes through Los Angeles. This decision by South Pasadena was made without getting any approvals or input from Los Angeles. And the communities in both Los Angeles and South Pasadena strongly oppose this project. And there are several concerns with the jurisdiction of the LA Department of Public Works. Our neighborhood council also strongly opposes it. And yeah, we'd just like to have our concerns heard by the city of Los Angeles regarding the connection to Lowell. Lowell Avenue is a narrow residential street full of families with small children. It's the type of street that requires one car to pass at a time. And the street only gets more narrow north of Atlas Street. In fact, today there's like a UPS truck. In order to deliver a package, he had to drive backwards on the street. That's how narrow it is. There are concerns regarding safety, the environment, traffic, parking, sustainability, street design, etc. that would greatly affect Los Angeles. And what it comes down to is that we don't believe that South Pasadena should be making decisions for Los Angeles.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Contreras. Really appreciate you coming in and appreciate your commentary or public comments. Okay, Dr. Campos, hearing that there's no more general public comment or comment from the neighborhood council, community impacts, we will move on to item number 1. Item number 1 is approval of the minutes from Tuesday, October 13th, 2020. Do I have a second to my motion to approve?
Second.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. Any objections, President Pro Tem Davis or Commissioner Caloza?
No objections.
All right.
Aye.
No, Commissioner Caloza?
No objections, thank you.
Okay. Hearing no objections, item number 1 is approved forthwith, and the minutes are approved for October 13th. That brings us to item number 2. Item number 2 is in CD 14. This is a task order solicitation number 113, MGE Engineering, Inc., pre-qualified on-call bridge improvement consultants list, Broadway streetscape improvement from 1st Street to 12th Street project. Recommending the board authorize the city engineer to issue the task order solicitation to MGE Engineering from the pre-qualified on-call bridge civil engineering and other design and support services consultants list to provide design and engineering support services for the Broadway streetscape improvement from 1st Street, 12th Street, as stated in TOS number 113, with a budget authority of $2,464,203, including contingency. Colleagues, if approved, this item would be subject to the mayor's cost. Can whoever 403 is, thank you. This will be subject to, if approved, this will be subject to the mayor's cost containment approval process. Steve Chen is with us from the Bureau of Engineering. Hello, Steve.
Hello, can you hear me? Everyone hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, good, great. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Steve Chen with the Bureau of Engineering. The item here before you is to request authorization to issue a task order to MGE Engineering for design services on Broadway from 1st Street to 12th Street. And just to give a quick background, we actually have, MGE was already designing this project. We issued a task order to them on a previous list back in March of 2019. That was on the a previous on-call list, which actually expired, I think, in November of last year. So they hadn't done finished the project, the design services at that time. Back then, the budget authority for their work was $3.6 million, and they only completed about a quarter of that for about $2.2 million. I'm sorry, $2.2 million was remaining for the remainder of the work. So what we did is, because their contract had expired, we reissued the task order to the entire new list, which was established back in November of 2019. And we had 30 firms respond. MG was the only firm that actually, I'm sorry,
what about me?
but only one of them, MG, responded. So, where am I here? So, through the negotiations, we have come to agreement with a task amount of $2.2 million with a contingency amount of $200,000, bringing a total of $2.4 million. Also, I just want to let you know the background of the scope of work. Basically, the streetscape will implement the master plan along Broadway, which will include widening sidewalks, new traffic signal modifications, upgraded ped lighting, and street trees. One of the big things on this scope of work is that we're widening the sidewalks, and because of Broadway, the way it was originally built, the sidewalks actually also serve as a ceiling over the basements below the sidewalk of the adjacent properties there. And so the adjacent buildings actually have basements underneath the sidewalks. So a big part of this task is to investigate and determine how to upgrade the sidewalks, and at the same time, most likely have to reconstruct the ceiling for these basements. And so that's a big part of the scope of work. And so just wanted to mention that. And yeah, so that's part of it. And so also to provide plans and specs and an estimate for the new scope of work. And the DBA goal was 8% for this work. And MG pledged 35.49%, so they're way above the goal that we were looking for. And I think that summarizes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Steve. Colleagues, let's start the conversation. Vice President Garcia, any questions or comments?
Thank you, President Good. Steve, this is not part of what we're authorizing. It's just a general question. Are these basements currently occupied? Some of them? Are they
Yes, in fact, that's part of the challenge is that getting access to these basements. Yeah, some of them are occupied, some of them are actually inhabited to some degree, and some of them have like, you know, mechanicals equipment that supports the the HVAC of the building. So yeah, it's all a variety of different things that are kind of making it a challenge to deal with this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all for me, President.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. When you say occupied, Steve, do you mean like people are officed in these basements?
Yeah, I believe it's like, I was told, office space, basically part of the building footprint or building usage extends underneath to the basement. Yeah. Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, President Pro Tem Davis.
None. No items. No questions for me.
Okay, thank you, sir. Commissioner Closa?
Hi, no questions for me either. Mr. Chen briefed me on this.
Okay, thank you. Like I say, Mr. Chen, this will be subject to the mayor's cost containment review process, but otherwise, I have no questions. And just as a reminder, a lot of the funding here, at least, a third of it is grant funded, right? And so there's time sensitive.
That's actually mostly grant funded. The majority of it's grant.
What is federal earmark repurposing?
It's basically it's a federal grant that that they're allowing us to repurpose. So it's leftover funding from other projects that they're now repurposing for that say have closed out over the years, and there's no future for those projects. There's no need for those extra funding, so there's earmarking these, the additional funding. This is, I guess, throughout the whole county, and this is, I think, a program that Metro had. So this is what we're doing to repurpose it for this project. Which is one of the funds that projects that we're able to get funded for.
Is that from Metro or the federal government?
I think it was Metro. It was Metro, but it's federal money, but Metro managing their funding. Yeah.
So it's Metro pulling together leftover.
Yeah, they're like the coordinating agency.
Giving that to us as a grant.
Right.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions. Do I have a motion to move this forward?
So moved.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. Any objections, Commissioner Closa?
No objections. Thank you.
All right. Hearing no objections, the item is approved as amended, subject to the mayor's cost containment process and approved forthwith. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Okay, colleagues, that brings us to item number 3. This is in CD4. This is a task order solicitation number 280, MLA Green, Inc., DBA Studio MLA, Griffith Park Horticultural Learning Center Project, recommending the board authorize the city engineer to issue a revision of the task order or the task order solicitation number 280 to MLA Green, DBA Studio MLA, increasing the budget authority from $200,000 to $245,000 for landscape architectural services for the Griffith Park Horticultural Learning Center project. Here to walk us through this is Stephen Fierce. Good afternoon, Stephen.
Hello. My name is Stephen Fierce, Principal Architect with the Architecture Division, Bureau of Engineering. This project is located in Council District 4, and it's for the Department of Recreation and Parks. And the project will renovate a portion of the existing Commonwealth Nursery, which is located on the southern portion of Griffith Park, adjacent to the Roosevelt Golf Course. The scope of work is to revitalize the existing deteriorating terraced nursery gardens, which will provide on-site educational opportunities for children, nonprofit organizations, and park patrons. The remainder of the facility will be restored as soon as sufficient funding is identified. The project is funded by Prop K in the amount of $1,650,000. And the board authorized issuance of the task order on November 25th, 2015, which is your transmittal number 1, for a total budget authority of $141,000. And that was increased to $200,000 per the transmittal number 2 due to grant submissions, value engineering, building and safety approvals. So the bid documents were completed, and RAP advertised the project to the RAP pre-qualified on-call contractors and received only one bid from California Landscape and Design on May 22nd, 2019. And that was in the amount of $2,273,368. That's a transmittal number 4. So that gave us a $660,000 shortfall on transmittal 3. So BOE worked with the value engineering options on transmittal number 5, but found that we couldn't meet the budget without descoping the project. So as such, BOE, RAP, and the designer, MLA, will be making the recommendation to the Board of Recreations and Parks Commission to rebid to public contractors and to divide the project into 3 parts or phases. In order to accurately depict the 3 scope of work areas, the bid documents must be revised. MLA has submitted a proposal in the amount of $38,630 on transmittal number 8, with the bid documents partitioning the scope of work into the 3 parts and then rebidding to public contractors. It's anticipated that at least at a minimum, the base bid will be awarded, and possibly 1 or 2 of the alternates will be within budget this time around. So the revised task will be is subject to the NDE, WBE outreach requirements. And for this task order, the city set anticipated participation levels of 12% and 2% for the NBE, WBE. So the original anticipated, or the original pledge was 13.95% NBE. And then with the second revision, the scope of work, the pledge became 8.55%. And now with this task order for NBE, we're dropping slightly to 8.42%. And this is due to primarily, not primarily, it's due because the bulk of the work is being done by the prime architect, which is reason for the drop there. The project is scheduled to award in March of 2021, and it's scheduled for completion in September of 2022. If there's any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fierce. Let's start with Vice President Garcia.
Thank you, President Good. I actually do not have any questions. I was briefed by Mr. Fierce. Mr. Fierce, is this your first time coming to the board?
Second.
Second. Okay, good. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes, ditto. All right, President Pro Tem Davis.
No, we're talking number 2, right? Which item?
Number 3.
Oh, 3. No, I don't have the Griffith Park. No, not on that one. I don't have a question on that one.
Okay. And there's Commissioner Closa.
Hi, not today. I'm back on my phone. I couldn't see you guys.
No.
I think Mercury's in retrograde today for me, but I don't have any questions. I was briefed by Mr. Fierce. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So this will be, because this is a contract increase, a budget increase, Dr. Campos, does that make it automatically, even though it's less than $100,000, automatically subject to mayor's cost containment process?
That does automatically require it to have the mayor's approval under the cost containment, since this is a task order solicitation. Had this been an authority for expenditure, it would have been exempted from it.
Right. Okay. So all TOS, okay. All right, thank you, Dr. Campos. So, Mr. Pierce, thank you. Appreciate the presentation. And I will motion to move this item forward as amended, subject to mayoral approval, cost containment approval. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Any objections, Vice President Garcia?
No objections.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Closa?
No objections, thank you.
All right, hearing no objections, with the second from President Pro Tem Davis, item number 3 is approved forthwith as amended, subject to the mayor's cost containment process. Thank you, Mr. Pierce.
Thank you.
Great name. All right, thanks. That brings us to item number 4, colleagues. This is in Council District 15. This is task order solicitation number 48, Harrison Associates, Alameda Street widening from Anaheim Street to Harry Bridges Boulevard project. Recommending the board authorize the city engineer to issue a revision of the task order solicitation number 48 to Harrison Associates, increasing the budget authority from $1,862,724 to $2,500,000 for the additional scope of work necessary to provide the design and design support services during construction for the Alameda Street widening from Anaheim Street to Harry Bridges Boulevard project. Stephen Chen is back with us for this item. Mr. Chen, welcome back. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President. Thank you, President Good. Yeah, again, Steve Chen, Bureau of Engineering. This item here is to request to revise the task order solicitation to Harrison Associates to increase the budget authority from $1.862 million to $2.5 million. This is for additional scope of work that was necessary to provide design and design support services for this Alameda Street widening from Anaheim Street to Harry Bridges project. Really quickly, this project is about 5,400 feet long, so what we're doing is we're reconstructing the entire street and curb, gutter, and sidewalk. We're also locating some power poles, and this serves a port of LA, so it's a major thoroughfare. A lot of heavy freight trucks drive on this, and currently the concrete pavement is in very bad condition. So this is a major reconstruction effort. And the current budget for the existing scope of work is about $28 million for the construction. And as we were designing this project, the reason for the increased request is that we learned of additional requirements needed for this project. We met with LADWP and the California Public Utilities Commission and learned that we needed to do some additional upgrades, which includes additional power pole relocations. We also had to upgrade the existing traffic signals because the Alameda Street runs parallel to a railroad, and because those intersecting streets are within 300 feet of Alameda Street, it requires us to upgrade also those train crossings, basically. And so that was an additional requirement that we learned from CPUC. And also, we learned that we had additional relocation requirements from LA Department of Water and Power. So basically, with this additional work, we needed to increase the design effort on this, and that's what the request is for. We also were getting additional funding from South Bay COG, which is providing additional Measure R funding to accommodate this additional work. And as far as the participation levels, the requirement is for consultant pledge maybe participation levels of 12 and 2%, and they're actually pledging higher than that, 16.4 and 5.01% WBE. So I believe that concludes my report. If there's any other questions, I can respond to those.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item also is as a task order solicitation increase will be subject to the mayor's cost containment process, just as a reminder, if approved. President Pro Tem Davis, any questions on this item?
None on this.
Okay.
None on this.
Vice President Garcia?
No questions either, thank you.
All right, and Commissioner Clozo?
I don't have any questions, but I want to echo what Mr. Chen emphasized about the participation numbers for MBE and WBE. It's really nice when those numbers are met. In this case, they were exceeded, so we always appreciate that. So thank you, Mr. Chen, for your work on that, and of course, Con Ed's work on that. Thank you, President Good.
Thank you, and agreed very much. It's impressive. And based on the pictures you've shared, Stephen, hard to imagine more in need of construction. So, thank you. All right, I have no further questions. Do I have a motion to move this forward as amended?
I'll move.
Thank you, Commissioner Closer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Any objections, Vice President Garcia?
No objections.
All right, this item then will be adopted forthwith as amended, subject to the mayor's cost containment process. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
All right, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Or do we get you some more? No, this is it for you. Okay.
That's it for me.
Great, okay. All right, that brings us to item number 5, which is interesting. This is in CD14. In fact, it's right across the street. This is final closeout order number 037, Silverado Contractors, Inc., Parker Center Project, recommending the board authorize the city engineer to issue deductive financial final closeout change order number 037 for the demolition of the Parker Center project to adjust the contract fixed cash allowances and bid quantities and to compensate Silverado Contractors, Inc. for extra work performed for a net credit to the city of Los Angeles in the amount of $1,136,604.06. Reza Bagherzadeh is with us. Hello, Reza.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you all.
Good to see you. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks God, we finished the demolition of Parker Center, and we received a statement of substantial completion last February. And this project was a design build to demolish the Parker Center and construct a dock bank all around the facility. And initially, when we started the project was design built. So we converted the bid to a schedule of work and prices, and there were many bid line items. As a result, some of these bid line items were optimized during the design by the contractor. And that's why you see the credit in this project, because it was mainly design bid, and we took advantage of collaborating with the demolition contractor to maximize the construction demolition, and as a result we got the $1 million change order. And then at the end we also asked the contractor to provide the city with a evaluation as if we were going to replace the jail air conditioning system, and we had to give him about $36,000, but we end up not doing this change order for various reasons. And now we will get the credit and close out the project. And if you have any question, respond to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Reza. All right, colleagues, first of all, deductive orders for $1 million plus are nice segues into Dodger games. So thank you, Reza.
Sure. Thank you.
Do we have questions, Vice President Garcia, or comments or epiphanies?
I have no questions, thank you.
All right, President Pro Tem Davis.
None for me on this item.
All right, and then Commissioner Coloso.
I don't have any questions, but just appreciate Reza, Mahmood, and the entire team who had been working on the Parker Center, and obviously, was previously the Civic Street project. So I know that's been a lot of work for your team, and you all have pivoted, and it's taken a long time to get to this point. So I just wanted to express my thanks to you all.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, I would echo that. Thank you. Quite a project just getting that thing down. Absolutely amazing. And so, I would echo that. Thank you for the great work. All right, with that, and who's complaining about less money? So, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Thank you, Commissioner Coloso. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice President Garcia. Any questions or concerns, President Pro Tem Davis?
No questions or concerns.
All right, thank you, everyone. With no concerns or questions, the item is approved forthwith. Thank you, Reza.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
All right.
Mr. President,
Yes.
this is Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Since we're going to change categories, we do have one caller on the line that joined us after the fact that the board started its meeting. Would you like me to check to see who that caller is and which item they'd like to speak on?
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great.
Great. Thank you, Mr. President. Caller ending in 403. Caller ending in 403. Can you please unmute your microphone by pressing *6? State your name and which item you'd like to speak on. Caller ending in 403. Can you please press *6 to unmute your microphone? State your name and which item you'd like to speak on. The Board of Public Works is now considering item number 6, contract amendment for the Los Angeles Conservation Corps. Last opportunity for caller ending in 403. Can you please press *6 to unmute your microphone? Please state your name and which item you'd like to speak on.
Okay, I just joined, but that's not my phone number. Maybe there's another ID that Zoom gives.
Tessa.
No, you're a different caller. But since you're on the line, caller ending in 403 has not been responsive. But go ahead, caller ending in 844. Which item would you like to speak on?
The SoCal Gas franchise extension.
Perfect. Item number 7. I will go ahead and note that we are now considering item number 6. So please stay on the line, and then we'll get back to you in about 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. Okay, so let's go back to item number 6 then. Item number 6 is contract amendment. This is CDs 2, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Contract amendment with the Los Angeles Conservation Corps, recommending the board authorize the Office of Communication to amend the contract with the LA Conservation Corps to allow for funding to be moved between line items. And 2, authorize the board president or 2 members of the board to execute the contract amendment after the city attorney has approved the contract as to form and content. Paul Roch is with us today, and he'll be, and see Melinda Bartlett is here also from LA Sanitation and Environment. So, Paul, why don't you jump on in?
Okay, great. Thank you. Good afternoon. Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification. This afternoon, we're requesting board approval to amend an existing contract with the Los Angeles Conservation Corps for tree planting services around the city of Los Angeles. A portion of funding in this contract was secured by the Bureau of Sanitation via a grant and is referred to as the Greater Greener LA Project. As part of the grant, the Bureau of Sanitation was able to form a partnership with the City Plants program and utilize City Plants projects as part of the match. By doing so, LA Conservation Corps has been able to use less of the grant funds for actual tree planting services and can therefore utilize more funding for concrete cutting for tree wells. In order to do so, there will need to be an amendment to the contract to reduce funding in the line item for tree planting and increase the same amount of funding in the line item for concrete cutting. The overall funding amount in the contract was not changed, and no additional funds are being added as a result of this action. Thank you for your attention to this item. Myself and Melinda Bartlett from the Bureau of Sanitation, who is responsible for obtaining this funding and several other grants for tree planting, are both available to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you, Paul, very much. So let's go into the conversation. Vice President Garcia, any questions?
I do not have any questions. Thank you.
Okay. President Pro Tem Davis?
Sorry, none for me either on that item, on this one.
And then Commissioner Closer?
I just had a quick question about the locations. Can you remind me again, Mr. Raj, how and where these trees are being planted?
Let me have Melinda jump in on that one.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Melinda.
The trees are in low income. Am I good now? The trees will be planted in disadvantaged communities and low income communities as described by Callan Virus Green. This project was originally slated to plant 2,000 trees. This was our second CAL FIRE grant. We did a lot of the work in the valley. We have generated, like I said, or like the board report says, 162,000 to be moved into the concrete cuts. That will allow us to open up another 250 new wells, most of them in the valley, but some of them also down in the Wilmington area.
And then this work is being coordinated. Yeah, just a follow-up question. This work, I'm assuming it's going to be coordinated with Streets LA and their Urban Forestry Division?
Yes, very much. In fact, we had a little extra money that we didn't require a change, and we just did 188 cuts for Streets LA along Venice near the 10 freeway. And we'll have them planted, and they're going to take care of them as part of their regular work.
Got it.
So yes, we coordinate with them. We coordinate with Rachel Malrich.
Great. And just one last question for me. I remember you all did such a great job on this grant that you got more money than I think you applied for, if I remember correctly. So I'm just curious, was there an increase to this amount that we're now allocating for LA Conservation Corps, or is this the original amount that you had all originally anticipated?
This was for $1 million. It was not increased. This is 2017 grant. We currently have about $8.5 million, and the Boyle Heights project is one thing of. But yeah, they did increase the funding dramatically.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much. I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Colosa.
Thank you.
So this is really an example of really effectively leveraging resources, right? And then being able to do more with less or with the same. Melinda's frozen.
Yeah, I think the point is by bringing in the City Plants program as sort of a partner and utilizing some of their resources for a match, we were able to use a lot of the tree plantings for that, and it allowed us to extend the concrete cutting services to get more tree wells out there and ultimately more trees.
That's great. It's outstanding. Okay, well, and this doesn't change the contract ceiling at all. So there's no mayoral. This is really just accounting. So all right, I'll motion to move this forward. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Colosa. Any objections or questions, Vice President Garcia or President Pro Tem Davis?
No objections, thank you.
No objections.
All right, thank you all very much. Hearing no objections, this item number 6 is approved forthwith. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Melinda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That brings us to item number 7. Dr. Campos, I believe you said we have a caller on for item number 7?
That is correct, Mr. President. We do have a caller on the line, and we also have representatives from SoCal Gas that are on the line if you have any questions. Would you like me to connect the caller?
Yes, please.
Well, I'll let you read the item into the record. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that would be helpful. All right. So item number 7 is all council districts. This is hearing ordinance number 168164, Southern California Gas Company Natural Gas Franchise Ordinance, recommending the board, 1, approve a 12-month extension of the Southern California Gas Company Natural Gas Franchise Ordinance from December 31, 2020 to December 31, 2021 or sooner, subject to City Council approval, and 2, request City Council to adopt the proposed ordinance prepared and presented by the Office of the City Attorney to extend the term of the Southern California Gas Company Natural Gas Franchise Ordinance number 168164, Council File number 12-1880-S8, from December 31, 2020 to December 31, 2021 or sooner. I think we're going to, if this is approved, we're going to need to actually amend that second recommendation to add an additional council file number, but we'll handle that once we have the conversation with deliberation, Dr. Campos. So as a flag, I think there's also a typo in the report that we'll want to amend if colleagues approve. Let's hear I appreciate the caller coming on. Dr. Campos, you want to turn on the button?
Yeah, absolutely. We may have 2 callers. The first caller is caller ending in 844. Caller ending in 844, can you please press *6 at this time to unmute your microphone, state your name, and you'll be given 2 minutes to speak on this item. Please go ahead.
Actually, I'm not going to speak on it at this time. I'm just going to listen to the call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We also have another caller on the line, Mr. Al-Najir, caller ending in 864. You had your hand raised on this item. Would you like to speak on this item? To do so, you can press *6. Hi, Mr. Al-Najjar. Caller ending in 864. Caller ending in 864. Please state your name and which item you'd like to speak on. Last call for caller ending in 864, Mr. Al-Najjar. The Board of Public Works is now considering item number 7. You had your hand up. Great. Last opportunity, Mr. President. I believe that does clear the queue on for item number 7.
Okay.
Caller ending in 403. Caller ending in 403. The Board of Public Works is now considering item number 7. Would you like to speak on this item?
Yeah, why not?
Please go ahead. You'll be given 2 minutes to speak on this item.
Yes, sir. I noticed that you have a bunch of CD14 items on your agenda today. Did did you make sure that there's no issues involving a certain FBI girl?
Mr. Spindler, if you would keep yourself to the agenda item, this is number 7.
Yeah.
The agenda item regarding the gas company.
Well, the gas company.
Please take a look at the agenda, Mr. Spindler.
What's that? See, the gas company is a bunch of niggers. That's what they are. Now, every goddamn year they're filing for increases. Fuels and gases are at a record low. But the worst part with you guys is only giving them a 1-year extension. What are they going to do after 1 year? Leave the city? No, you're giving them a 1-year extension instead of the normal traditional 3 or 5 year extension, so you can get more money out of them and more office holder account cash for your filthy fucking city officials. That's why you're only giving them 1 year. They have to come back in about 9 months and start the next RFP. Nobody else can win the bid. There's nobody else but SoCal Gas and Sempra Company that can win the bid. So you keep making the contract extension shorter so you can rip off more money from them, and then they can bill Wayne from Encino additional filed PUC increases. That's the scam that you run there, Mr. Golden Boy. Why do you think Kevin James resigned from the commission? He knows you're going to federal prison, starting, of course, with the first one that resigned and ratted out to the FBI. So I would urge you to give me...
Thank you very much. Time is up.
Thank
3 year
you, Mr. Spindler.
Thank you.
Give them a 3-year extension. Don't let them fuck you. Don't fuck you, Sempra.
Can you mute him, Dr. Campos? Thank you. Okay.
3 years. 3 years.
Mr. Spindler, your time is up. Please stop interrupting the meeting.
I'm not.
Okay, colleagues, we're going to hear from Erica Blyther. Hi, Ms. Blyther. Can you please tell us about the item?
Good afternoon, Commissioners and Department Representatives. As stated, I'm Erica Blyther, the Acting Petroleum Administrator. In 1992, the city adopted ordinance number 168164 to grant the Southern California Gas Company, SoCal Gas, a 21-year pipeline franchise to install, construct, replace, reconstruct, repair, and retain its gas system in streets located in the city, including maintenance and operations. In 2019, $18 million was paid to the city based on 2% of gross receipts from selling and distributing natural gas within the city. The city has extended the franchise agreement year by year without changes until a new agreement can be negotiated. It currently expires December 31st, 2020, but can be extended again. Since 1992, many things have changed, including the emergence of the Street Damage and Restoration Fund, which SoCal Gas currently does not pay into. Franchise negotiations over the years have been complicated by a number of factors, including the case of Jacks et al. Versus the City of Santa Barbara. On June 29, 2017, the California Supreme Court decided that the matter of Jacks et al. Versus the City of Santa Barbara, the outcome of which has had significant impacts on the terms to be negotiated in a new franchise agreement with Southern California Gas. The ruling requires an expert determination of the value of the franchise agreement, which significantly changed the nature of the ongoing negotiations and provided necessary guidance by setting forth a 2-part test. The ruling requires parties to negotiate in good faith and specifies that the franchise fee must be reasonably related to the value of the franchise and cannot exceed any reasonable value of the franchise. Based on the second part of the test, the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas, in collaboration with several offices, including the City Attorney, the Chief Legislative Analyst, City Administrative Officer, and various other city departments, determined that the criteria and need for a third-party financial valuation study of the franchise agreement to capture the reasonable value of the franchise. Based on these discussions and input, the Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas drafted a proposed scope of work for franchise agreement valuation. The franchise agreement valuation is to provide expert determination of the reasonable value of the SoCal Gas pipeline franchise, incorporating the 2016 Controller's Audit recommendations as well. This franchise has been extended 9 times since 1992. The most recent was ordinance number 186137, an 18-month extension approved by this board on April 17, 2019. City Council on May 22nd, 2019, and signed by Mayor Eric Garcetti on May 23rd, 2019, and will expire on December 31st, 2020. Since this last extension was granted in May 2019, the process to conduct a franchise evaluation has been delayed. On March 11, 2019, the Office of Petroleum Gas posted a request for proposals soliciting companies to perform evaluation analysis for the Southern California Gas franchise agreement on the Los Angeles Business Assistance Virtual Network. The Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas expected the contract to be awarded by late May 2019. However, only one proposal was received. The proposal evaluation team consisted of 3 members, 2 from Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas and 1 from the CLA's office. The proposed evaluation team reviewed the proposal and deemed it non-responsive. In January 2020, a new approach was suggested by the Mayor's office to use the Bureau of Engineering's pre-approved bidder list for the work. There were delays due to COVID-19 and staff turnover, but an RFP was released by BOE on May 13, 2020, and a pre-bid meeting was held on May 18, 2020 at 10 a.m. One bidder attended, but later declined to bid due to concerns about conflicts of interest. No bids were received on May 29th, the bid close date. On July 1st, 2020, the funds set aside were swept. In July 2020, the Board of Public Works worked with the CAO's office on a new bid using economic development pre-approved consultants. The RFP went out on August 2020 and bids were due back in September. One bid was received and is currently being evaluated. The Office of Petroleum and Natural Gas anticipates that the evaluation and determination of the value of the SoCalGas franchise will take an additional 6 to 9 months, or tentatively April 2021, after which a final negotiation period with SoCalGas of 3 to 6 months is anticipated, or ending approximately July 2021. The additional 5 months is required to account for unforeseen delays in report completion, negotiation, calendaring, and approval of the final ordinance. In total, up to an additional 12 months is anticipated until a new franchise agreement may be complete. Therefore, it's necessary to extend the term of the current franchise set forth in ordinance number 186137 beyond the December 31st, 2020 expiration date previously adopted to ensure that Southern California Gas Company continues to operate in the city under the terms set forth in ordinance number 168164. Please approve this extension and request that City Council adopt the proposed ordinance. As stated on page 1 of the board report, the last sentence in paragraph number 1 should be, was set to expire rather than is. Thank you very much. As you mentioned, SoCalGas is also available on the line for any questions.
Thank you, Erica, very much. Appreciate that. So, colleagues, questions and comments. Let's start with Vice President Garcia.
Thank you, President Good. I don't have any questions right now. I'm just gonna hear it. I think all we're really doing is approving an extension, a 12-month extension is what I gathered from our. Okay. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. President Pro Tem Davis, any
You're
questions?
on mute.
Sorry, I'm muted again. No questions for me. The presentation was pretty clear.
Okay, thank you, sir. And then Commissioner Caruso.
Thank you, President Good. Thank you, Ms. Blyther, for your presentation, as always. I just want to start off and say that I appreciate the different strategies that your team utilized to try to see how we could get more bidders. Based off of your report and the board report, you tried different methods. It's unfortunate that, one time you got no bids, this last time you got one bid. I was just curious, for future proposals, I know this one is already underway and being evaluated. What else can we do? Where do you need support so that we can get a more competitive, bid out there from others? I just wanted to understand your thoughts on that.
I think this is a very unique project, and it's interesting. It's been extended 9 times since 1992, so I don't think this is an easy project to negotiate. And it's taken a long time. I welcome any ideas. As we said, we're using different things. We tried an engineering way to do it. We did an open call for sort of environmental consultants, and now we're doing the financial evaluation. We have high hopes of the financial evaluation because they are used to dealing with conflicts of interest in a regular basis. So we're hoping that this will be, this economic approach will be a little more effective. I welcome any idea.
Yeah, and I don't have necessarily more questions, but, I think that's an area where, we're, to the extent in which we're able to brainstorm with you, even talking more to the mayor's office, which I know you are, and there's obviously been transitions in the petroleum office, but hopefully that there's more competitiveness in this process in the future. And I know you're working very hard, and it's a really tough time right now with everyone working remotely. But it's just my overall general comment on this. But I understand the constraints that you're under. So just wanted to note that, though. But thank you again, Ms. Blyther, for all your work.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Blyther. I don't really have any questions. Appreciate the presentation and the substantial work that is done at this point. I do believe, Dr. Campos, that there's a couple of amendments that would need to be made to the report. And I think that, were you going to say something, Dr. Campos?
I was waiting for you, but that's correct. My recommendation for this would be to amend recommendation number 2 to reference the latest ordinance, which is ordinance number 186137, as referenced by Ms. Blyther. So recommendation number 2 would be franchise ordinance numbers 168164 and 186137. In addition to that, as mentioned and referenced by Ms. Blyther, on the last sentence of the first paragraph, to change it from is set to expire to was set to expire on June 30th, 2019. And for clarity, add the following, and subsequently extended to December 31st, 2020 per ordinance number 186137. I believe that would make the record very clear when it's submitted to the council for its consideration.
Yep, that is exactly. So I just want to think quickly through that last sentence. Yeah, that would actually cover it. Okay, so I will motion to move the item forward as amended, amending recommendation 2 to reference ordinance 186137 in addition to 168164, and then to amend the last sentence in paragraph 1, colleagues, to as adopted via ordinance number 185271, the current franchise ordinance agreement term is set to expire on June 30, or was set to expire on June 30, 2019, and subsequently extended to December 31, 2020 via ordinance number 186137. I'm introducing that motion as amended. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, I've got seconds from Vice President Garcia and President Pro Tem Davis. Any objections or questions, Commissioner Coloso?
None, thank you.
Okay, so item number 7 is approved as amended forthwith. And we are all done, Ms. Blyther. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Dr. Campos. That brings us to item number 8, folks. Item number 8 is an authority for expenditure, PMCS Group, Inc. It's a long one, bear with me. Bureau of Street Services. Hey, there's Adele. Nice backdrop, Adele. Bureau of Street Services.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have your uniform on, Adele. There we go. That's right. You got that uniform on, right? Bureau of Street Services and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $75,000 to provide funds to pay for the preparation of preliminary schedules for the Complete Streets projects and review of the contractors' baseline schedules and monthly schedule updates for the San Fernando Phase 3 and LA River Headwater Bikeway projects for fiscal year 2020-21. Authorize the president or two members of the Board of Public Works to execute the expenditure after approval as to form has been obtained from the city attorney. Rose Karagian and Adele Hashkhalil are with us to present on the item. And Rose, are you starting, or Adele, you?
I'll be starting. President Good, Commissioners, this particular item is for an authority for expenditure. The amount is $75,000, and this is needed for the estimating and scheduling support for over $50 million in construction projects. These include the Complete Streets project, two bikeway projects on San Fernando and the LA River Headwater Bikeway project, as well as Crenshaw projects that are ongoing on Crenshaw Boulevard. In addition, this will allow us to work on various DWP projects and metro projects that we are going to be beginning in terms of water blowouts and other metro projects. So what this AFE will do is basically help the Bureau with cost control efforts and the need to offset expenditures during this tough financial climate in the city. As well, this particular vendor is a woman-owned business and a small business enterprise. If you have any questions, we're here to answer them.
Okay, thank you, Rose. Appreciate that. Anything you want to add, Adele?
No, and thank you. Critical. It's really, we are in a major change. One is getting the two projects for the bikeway done, and also getting ready and scheduling the work for water and power and metro, so we can have them pay for some paving work to offset the revenue we need and have relieve some of the impact of the city. So this is critical, it's essential, and we appreciate your support on this.
Thank you, Adele. Colleagues, any questions or comments? I will start with Commissioner Quilty.
Thank you, President Good. Thank you for the presentation, Streets LA. Just a question, are we using the AFE process to pay for these services to get ahead of the schedule? Because we have delays right now internally.
Yes, we need to have this ahead of schedule. At some point, these are critical to get us ahead of schedule and deal with the ongoing construction and the priorities for working with Metro and with water and power. We need those services to allow us to deliver on these projects.
But, and then just a follow-up for me is, there is an existing contract for these projects already, right? Or is that something that we have yet to award?
No, the existing contracts, some are awarded, and one is actually going through the board for we terminated one project, and now coming to the board. We received recently the bids on the LA River one, and we are coming back to the board. So that was critical process. That scheduling is critical for both. And so those projects are construction separate. This is just service and continue the efforts to review the schedule, do the schedule and delivery and the estimation, so we can better negotiate with the contractor.
Okay. I understand that there's a lot of restraints right now and there's a lot of delays in the review process. So I know you guys are thinking outside the box here, but I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Coloso. Any questions or comments, President Pro Tem Davis? I think
You're muted.
No, right? You're muted, Mike. Is that a no?
That's a no.
Okay.
I guess Dr. Campos, I automatically get muted, huh?
I can hear you, but the rest cannot hear you.
Okay.
Very good. Any questions or comments, Vice President Garcia?
No questions or comments, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, I have no further questions. Rose or Adele, thanks for the presentation and explanation. I will motion to move the item forward. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
All right. Second from Commissioner Coloso and President Pro Tem Davis. Any objections, Vice President Garcia?
No objections.
All right. Hearing no objections, the item is approved forthwith. Thank you very much.
Forgot to take public
Rose.
comment on the item.
Please mute Mr. Spindler.
Dr. Campos, it appears that Mr. Spindler may want to comment on this item. I suggest for clarification, we find out which items he wants to talk about and then just have him on those particular items, keeping in mind, of course, the 10-minute cumulative time rule.
Mr. President, if you'd like, I can go ahead and do as suggested by our attorney.
What was the suggestion again?
Well, it appears Mr. Spindler may want to comment on it, so I think we need to sort of clarify with Mr. Spindler which items on the agenda he'd like to comment on, and then take his comments on those items. I've been monitoring the meeting, and I didn't see him raise his hand at all, but he broke through briefly, and it sounded as if he wanted to make a comment on the particular item that we were just discussing.
And also for the record, Mr. Jordan, we do allow individuals to indicate which items they'd like to speak on when they're signed in. I understand that people come in and out of the meeting at times, but we can ask Mr. Spindler again which items he'd like to speak on. We did ask him once before. If Mr. President is, if you're okay with it, I can open up the line and ask those questions.
I'm fine with that for today.
Great. Caller ending in 403. Caller ending in 403. Can you please unmute your microphone at this time? Please press *6 and indicate which item would you like to speak on. Caller ending in 403, please.
We're in a Zoom meeting, so you press *9.
Can you please indicate which items you'd like to speak on? The Board of Public Works is now considering items 9, 10, and 11. Which items would you like to speak on?
I'll speak on each one after the report.
Great.
Mr. Spindler, it's up to, I'm sorry, Dr. Campos, Mr. Spindler, our presiding officer can indicate whether he would like to have you make your comment before staff makes its report or after. It's up to the presiding officer.
After, like Kevin James did before he resigned to run for the FBI, you know?
Mr. Spindler, our presiding officer is President Good, so he can...
Yeah, but you know, if you're doing things irregularly, the FBI is going to think it's pay to play. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Going on to item number 9. That's what we're doing. Item number 9 is a administrative item. The mayor has approved and authorized the Board of Public Works.
What about the last item? I want to speak on it.
Well, you can wait. The mayor has approved and authorized the Board of Public Works on behalf of the Bureau of Sanitation to execute the amendment number 4 with 5 key schools and programs to provide mobile pit stop bathroom services and mobile shower trailer services. There is no presentation on this item. Dr. Campos, please let Mr. Spindler know that he can speak.
I would like to speak on that.
Apparently, there's 2 callers on the line for item number 9. I will go ahead and let Mr. Spindler in
Hi,
first.
Mr. President.
Mr. Spindler, caller ending in 403, you will have 2 minutes to speak on item number 9. Please go ahead.
Yeah, mobile pit stops. Great. Where are they going to go? The first city council, neighborhood council to ask for this was the Studio City NC. 2 years ago, you lying cocksuckers promised that you would do it over at the Red Line station over there in Studio City by Universal City. And they're not there. I drive by there all the time, they're not there. How come you didn't do it before? Now in the report, which CD is going to get these? I mean, my God, you know, we got homeless encampments, Sportsman's Lodge, we got them over in the Red Line parking lot. I just talked to Sheila Kill's staff today, and she said, we gave the city the money. We gave the city the money 3.5 years ago under Measure H. The city is not providing what they promised. And why are you guys sitting there dragging your tail? Where are these going to go? When are they going to be there? Are there going to be attendants? Are they going to be open? Are there laundry services? What COVID steps are you taking to prevent infection? These are the questions we want to know. Now, when I tried to get onto Zoom today so I could raise an electronic hand and see your pretty little faces, it asked for a fucking passcode. So you're restricting us on a telephone line, telling us we're not signing up on items, while your rich, big campaign donors get to get on the video. And we can't even go to City Hall anymore to speak. So, Jesus Christ, guys, get it under control. The FBI is everywhere. Joe Jacinto is ratting you all out right now. Kevin James has every hard drive, every document. And by the way,
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. 2 minutes is up. We'll go on to the next caller.
Thank you.
Caller ending in 616, you'll be given 2 minutes to speak on this item. Please go ahead.
Thank you. It's Eric Previn from Studio City. And the mobile pit stop program is a good program. It emerged from San Francisco, and basically it's an opportunity to have a clean place to use the facility. Now, it did come up at Metro in Studio City at Universal that it would be a good area there. And then we've even gone past sticking a mobile pit stop there to bring you right up to date, because there's a Metro facility that's caged up like a jail that only transit workers can use, you know, resulting in a kind of slap across the face of Angelino or tourists making their way and, you know, crossing their legs excessively. But we don't care about that in Los Angeles, because we're concerned that if we put a toilet up, it's going to attract homeless people. So this is one of the great low points in LA City think. And obviously the mobile pit stop was reaching for, we did get an entire neighborhood council full of raging assholes to vote in support of such a thing. It is, I will tell you personally, not easy. It was only because I had made some political victory on behalf of the neighbors that they went for it at all. I think we took out Harvard Westlake's egregious idea to build a tribute to Mayor Garcetti's ego called a parking structure, but we knocked it down. And now they're back. They're back in Weddington at our public amenity golf course, and they're threatening to put plastic carpet all over the place and cut down the old growth trees and put up little Kerkorian sort of dolls all over the place. Very bad and not what the people of Studio City want, but some of them are fighting back. But as for the mobile pit stop, I mean, it was such a nice idea, and it got co-opted. You know, the only ones that they put up were in O'Farrell's district around Weezar's house. Sorry?
2 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Previn.
Oh, yeah, I mean, listen, I don't even know who this was.
Thank you, Mr. Previn. Dr. Campos, I know Domingo Roscoe is here from Livability Services. Did you want to add anything, Domingo, on the item?
Thank you, President Good. I'm here for any questions that may be, if the board has. So
great. Colleagues, any questions? Vice President Garcia.
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Okay. President Pro Tem Davis.
I know that we have had some increase in terms of the need for cleanup on one hand, and then it's evidence, obviously, of an increase of homeless encampments or if it's not an increase, it's certainly more mobility of them. As a result of that, have we had any changes in our strategy in this program? Because I think it's key to us better managing the situation. Have we had any different changes in the way in which we go about implementing this particular program in the midst of COVID? Because I think we began to do something like this prior to COVID, right?
That's correct, Commissioner Davis, and excellent question, because what we've done through the LSD Care Plus program, along with our mobile hygiene unit program, which this is the component of it, we've included, as we were instructed by council to relaunch the comprehensive cleanups in bridge home areas, we've added at the onset with this the mobile hygiene unit to pair up with that program. What this does, along with the remainder of the enhanced services that we're coordinating through the Unified Homeless Response Center, is when available, we coordinate with LAFD to provide mobile testing a couple of days prior or on the same day. LASA engages and does extensive outreach in those same locations. What this allows us to do is co-deploy that cleanup operation with the shower program. This allows us to enhance the social distancing guidelines that we're trying to meet. Also, it furthers the service platform that we're delivering here. Through the mobile hygiene unit program, we've expanded that to include a tent distribution. Oh. We've expanded that to include a sanitary kit distribution. So all of those came about as part of the onset of the global pandemic.
Great. Now, we've had some calls from some of the elected officials. I know one of the congresswomen called me because we are going out in another division of your bureau and helping to increase the cleanup in the area. Have we still put these programs, the mobile shower programs, in South LA as well? We still are doing it out there. Are we going to different spots in that way? Or
Very much so, and absolutely, Commissioner. As you know, on that task force, we're working with Council District 9, Council District 8, Council District 15
great.
to make sure we're visiting as many of those locations that are as priority as possible.
Because it still seems to be a need for that, particularly in that area. I don't know if my colleagues have other concentrated areas of increased activity, but I do know in South LA it appears that we do have some increase, and it would appear to me if we have the resources to strategically implement some of this shower program services, they are now at this time during COVID would be critically important. So to the degree that we can get an opportunity to understand how we can expand these services in that particular area based upon what we're seeing, let us know.
Absolutely, and we're in lockstep with that as we believe that's the pathway forward, and this instrument allows us to do that.
All right, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Commissioner Closa?
Thank you, President Good. I don't have any questions. I know we've heard this item previously, and we're just approving it today administratively, so I'm good. Thank you.
Great. And Domingo, please remind me, how many mobile pit stop units do we have?
So currently we have 6 in stock. We've just received a delivery of a couple of more new units. So we're putting those through inventory and making sure they're roadworthy, ready for service, making sure they're outfitted properly, that staff is trained on to use them. There's other components that we need to make sure we have in place in order to deploy them, but our fleet is growing as inventory is coming in on shower units.
Water hookup is one of the issues.
Water hookup, absolutely. We work with Department of Water and Power on that, making sure we identify the infrastructure that's needed. Also in-house to sanitation, we work with our clean water conveyance, and we built that functionality into livability services so that our own crews in livability are able to properly connect not only to hydrants for clean water access, but then also discharge to the sewer system where needed.
And each unit has both, right? The shower and bathroom facilities.
That's correct. They have, there are 3 units, and each unit has a shower and restroom facility, and then there's 1 unit on each trailer that is ADA compliant.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. That's all I've got. Vice President Garcia, did I give you an opportunity? Yeah, okay. All right, so with that, I would motion to move the item forward. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Any objections, Vice President Garcia or Commissioner Closa?
No objections, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Domingo. Thank you, Dr. Campos. Hearing no objections, the item is approved forthwith. This is really an important and crucial program. So thanks, Domingo, for moving forward. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Domingo.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, let's move to item number 10, colleagues. Item number 10. All council districts, the mayor and city council have approved and authorized the Board of Public Works and the Bureau of Sanitation to execute the proposed transfer agreement number 2020MP47, Safe Clean Water Program Municipal Program between the City of Los Angeles and the Los Angeles County Flood Control District for the transfer of Safe Clean Water Municipal Program funds. Dr. Campos, I know we don't have a presentation. Do we have someone here to answer any questions?
Mr. President, you do have someone here from the from the Bureau of Sanitation to answer any questions that you may have. Ms. Sheila Bryce is on the line. This is an item that's coming back to the board. This item has already been considered by the board. This just is giving you authority to execute the transfer agreement. We also have one caller on the line, Mr. Spindler, that would like to speak on this item.
Yes. All right, Mr. Spindler.
Mr. Spindler, can you please press *6 on your landline device? You'll be given 2 minutes to speak on this item, item number 10. Please go ahead.
Yes, my landline device. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now we have homeless criminals camping on the LA River, behind the Sportsman's Lodge in Studio City, next to Coldwater Canyon, over in CD3 of Tarzana and Reseda, over in Encino. So when they're camping on the river, they're dumping sewage, urine, and trash into the aqueducts. That's part of this project. And I've been complaining about these clean water and hazard violations, and you guys don't do a goddamn thing about it. And I don't know why you guys don't clean this up, because you do not want to violate clean water standards when they find drug needles, stolen bicycle parts, feces, urine, and then the infectious diseases and rodents that are running into these channels to drink that water. Ew. Ew. It is so disgusting what you guys are doing by letting these homeless pigs sit there and camp on bike paths that are right next to the LA River and behind multi-million-dollar homes. And I wonder why you guys don't address it. You could go out and power wash those areas. You could go and fence them off, but you don't do it. So to spend $200,000 to do that versus $4 to $5 million in Clean Water Act violations for fines and penalties, I don't know why the fuck you don't choose the right step, but you're going to keep doing it. We're videotaping. We're even going to go and try to get a court order to take tests of the water to see if it has COVID-19 in it now. So you see, we watch what you do. You get paid full time to sit there and lie and cheat and cover up for our gay mayor. Our mayor's a cocksucker, and so are you.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. 2 minutes.
Okay, colleagues. Hi, Ms. Bryce. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, President Good. My name is Sheila Bryce. I'm with LA San Watershed Protection Program.
Thank you for joining us. Any questions on the item, Vice President Garcia?
You're on mute.
Okay, sorry. I don't have any questions on this item.
Thank you. Okay, President Pro Tem Davis?
None for me.
Thank you. And Commissioner Closa?
No questions.
All right, that was quick and easy, Ms. Bryce. Thank you so much. I have no questions either. Hearing that, do I have a motion to move the item forward?
I'll move.
Okay, I think Commissioner Colosa hit the button first. Got a motion from Commissioner Colosa with a second from President Pro Tem Davis. Any objections, Vice President Garcia?
No objections.
All right, hearing no objections, the item is approved forthwith. Thank you all very much. That brings us to item number 11. Michael Cox is here from Streets LA to give us a status update on major upcoming streets improvement projects. Hi, Michael.
Hello there. Good afternoon, President Good, Commissioners. How's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. This information is being provided to keep the public informed on the upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact on the community as well as delays to the commuters. Streets LA would like to provide you with an update on all major upcoming street improvement projects. At this time, there are no major street projects scheduled in the metro resurfacing region for next week. However, we have an update on our 2021 pavement preservation program. During the week of November 1st through November 7th, 2020, the metro region is completing 8 projects for a total of 3.88 lane miles. The following projects are scheduled in the Valley region, resurfacing region. Tuesday, 11/4/20 through Monday, 11/9/20 from 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. We will cold mill and pave Chatsworth from Canoga Ave to Topanga Canyon Boulevard. In CD15, Chatsworth Neighborhood Council PPP funded. On Tuesday, 11/4/20 and Wednesday, 11/5/20 from 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m., we will cold mill and pave Rinaldi, Gaynor Ave to Yavito Ave in CD12, Granada Hills North Neighborhood Council funded DWP. During the week of November 1st through November 7th, 2020, the Valley region is completing 14 projects for a total of 4.87 lane miles. For any additional information, you can contact our coordinating section, and that completes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Do we have a caller or speaker, Dr. Campos?
Yes, we do. We have Mr. Spindler on the line. Mr. Spindler, please press *6. You'll be given 2 minutes to speak on item 11.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
So yes, let's talk about the serial arsonist that you have on Hoover Street between Olympic Boulevard and 8th Street. Somebody is setting your city trash cans on fire. And this has been going on now. We just lost another 2 trash cans last week, and they literally melt these plastic trash cans down to the ground. That's pretty serious heat. Also, the same area, we've had numerous fires. In fact, I had the displeasure of actually putting out one of them myself, using water from my office in a bucket that I drove back down the block, because your fire department wouldn't even take the call. All right, so that's what you're doing. Now, after this happens, the street is left with this burnt trash that sits on the street, and you don't pick it up.
Mr. Spindler, item number 11. Item number 11 is a report on major street improvements. This is not relevant.
Yeah, well, it is relevant because we need improvements in our major streets. I think Hoover is a major street. Is anybody disputing me on that? That's good. So I'm on Hoover right now, in fact. So again, be aware that you have an arsonist that is destroying city property and endangering the life and safety of people, and your city is doing absolutely nothing to respond to this. So anybody that gets harmed by this, I urge you to contact your insurance company immediately and make sure that they subrogate the claim to you guys and every rotten fuck like you guys that sits there and lets people in business suffer the consequences of your theft, your incompetence, and your fraud, and your FBI probes, and everything about you guys, because the last thing you're doing in this city is any good for any of us. You're just stealing the money, and you're giving priority to developers like Maury Goldman.
Thank you, Mr.
You
Spindler. 2
love
minutes.
Maury Goldman.
Okay, colleagues, any questions on Mr. Cox's report? Vice President Garcia?
No question.
All right, President or Commissioner Closo?
No questions. Thank you for the report, Mr. Cox. Your colleague also did a nice job last week who kind of sang it, so we will look forward to your singing report in the future.
That's right.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to get my singing skills in order to do that. But I can't make any promises there. I'm going to echo Adele, but go Dodgers.
There we go. President, any questions or comments, President Pro Tem Davis? You're on mute, Dr. Davis.
I'm good with the report.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Cox, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, go Dodgers. Work on your singing. Adele, thanks for the background. Go Dodgers. And Dr. Campos, I believe that clears the deck.
That is correct. You have.
Screw the Dodgers.
Mr. Spindler, please, we're speaking in our turn.
We will actually, I will be actually canceling the management meeting for today. The decks are cleared, and this meeting is hereby adjourned. Have great weekends. Thank you very much.